All right, man. Pete Carroll go after NFL owners over the brothers. All right. Anytime they say minorities in the NFL, they really mean black. All right. Because think about it. How many Latinos play in the NFL? All right. How many, um, you know, Asians play in the NFL? You know what I'm saying? The NFL is predominantly made up of black players, right? That's what it's made up of. It's made up of black players, and Pete Carroll went after the owners privately in the owners meeting, which leaked out into the public. I think the NFL league meeting was like last week, maybe spilled over this week, and he talked about why he talked to them about the lack of minority hires in the National Football League, and he said that paraphrasing that he said that they need to he said that they need to change their thought process and hiring. Bro, you can't, man, you know how they say you can't treat your dog old tricks. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with ownership. You can't teach ownership old tricks. A lot of the ownership, that's older, bro. These dudes been, before, desegregation, they was growing up. You know what I'm saying? They was growing up before desegregation. So I mean, how can you change somebody's thoughts like that? It's been an ability of it's a learned ability. You learn it, you pick up. You're not nobody born with that train of thought. You just pick it up from your parents, and that's just what it was. In the 40s, 50s, 60s. Shit, even the 70s and 80s. Even after desegregation, it still was a thought. But it's just something that you pick up, and it's hard to unlearn. It's hard to untrain your mind, about those thoughts. And one of the reasons you can untrain your mind about those thoughts is put yourself in those people's position. But how many billionaires, you ever seen that TV show where the billionaires secretly work? They secretly work at the place that they own, and people don't know they the billionaires and stuff of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it's pretty much that. You have to have them, like I said, a lot of judges and district attorneys and all that, man. You can't they can't understand, bro. I was telling y'all a while ago, like I'm still learning about, people who really don't have a chance, seeing, I was at the park and walking the dogs a few weeks ago, and I was seeing the kids playing it, right. And whoever's took them to the park, the woman was smoking weed right at the park with the kids. I seen a situation where they were smoking weed while the toddler was in the back seat of the car. That's when you talk about, I've been over people's house and they just smoking weed and the kid getting high of contact high. No, do we really got a chance to grow straight and not be a mere addicted to weed when you've been experiencing this before you turn 2, 3, 4? Do you really got a chance, bro? Like some people, I live in the hood my whole life, and I'm still learning that some people just don't have a chance, bro. And it's sad, bro. Some people, guardians and parents, whoever it is, aunt, uncle, adopted parents, some people don't have a chance. So to have them owners have to really walk a day through the judicial system, who prosecute, who give people years. They would really have to walk a day in these people's shoes. And I'm telling you, man, to this day, man, I live in the neighborhood, live in the hood, and I've been living in the hood for a while. Nice neighborhoods, bad neighborhoods, terrible. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still seeing shit that I'm appalled by. How people grow up. So for a judge, you giving people 20, 50 years, you can't even fathom. You wouldn't be a judge if you grew up like them. You wouldn't be a law-abiding citizen if you grew up like them. So, for ownership to put they would have to go put that 70, 80, 90 years old, 60 years old, 55, 50 years old. That's pretty young for owner. You would have to go put yourself in their shoes, you know. And Pete Carroll talking about put yourself in their shoes, man, that's impossible. Pete Carroll delivers a passionate speech to minority hiring during a league meeting. It says the NFL is a problem. It comes to hiring minority coaches, and the NFL knows it, but it hasn't stopped from issuing the blunt reminders to those in charge, per multiple sources with knowledge of the situation. Seahawks coach Pete Carroll delivered a passionate speech regarding the NFL's struggle with diversity during the last week's league meetings in Florida. One source said that Carroll's comment was sufficiently strong to make people in the room uncomfortable to the point of angry. Another source wasn't sure if his remarks actually did or should have angered those in the room. Browns owner Jizzy Haslam responded to Carroll's not so subtle suggestion that the problem flows from ownership, taking issue with the idea that the owners are out of touch when it comes to entrusting the key positions to black candidates. Others have privately pointed out that Carroll doesn't have a stellar track record when it comes to giving opportunity to minority coaches, with no black offensive coordinators during his 12 seasons at head coach in Seattle. Then there's the issue of nepotism. Carroll has hired two of his children. Those opportunities could have gone to non-family members and particularly to minority candidates. Regardless, Carroll stood up to talk about the initial open session amongst teams. The more that coaches and owners talk about the problems in those settings, the more likely the solution will emerge eventually, inevitably. Otherwise, the league will continue to experience only bad PR, but also potentially sizable liability. Now, a couple things in here, right? Um, he went on to say that ownership taking the issue with the idea that ownership are out of touch when it comes to entrusting the key positions to black candidates, right? How can I trust somebody that I didn't know, bro? How can I trust somebody that I didn't grow up with? How do I trust somebody that come from a background that I can never understand? I remember Meek Mill said he was talking to Robert Kraft. I think it was it Michael Rubin, like co-owner of the Sixers, and he also I think might own Lids. And he was trying to explain to them, where he come from, bro, and they couldn't fathom it. I'm telling you. How you gonna ask them to understand black candidates when no matter if they, a lot of times, even if the black candidates grew up in those type of neighborhoods, rich, preppy neighborhoods, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. And those probably the ones that get the job, bro. Like I know, a lot of people, come on, it's hard, bro. How can I trust you, or how can I understand where you coming from and believe in your vision, and I don't know you. I don't like mess with you like that. And that the deeper rooted issue to fix it is hiring black ownership, not minority like Shad Khan. They gave Shad Khan, I don't know his background, they gave him a team before they gave a brother a team. That's what it goes to. You hire black owners, then you get to understand and mingle with them and understand their background, understand how it's done. They don't want to do that. And then they did what black people do. They pointed out that, Pete Carroll doesn't have a track record of hiring offensive coaches, but it ain't a lot of black offensive quarterback coaches. Usually quarterback coaches, like Keyshawn Johnson said today, quarterback coaches, man, they they turn into offensive coordinators. So, we don't have, and a lot of them are not the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Brady's, the Russell Wilsons. A lot of the coaches that become quarterback coaches are, they might have been marginal starters, stylish starters like Mark Brunell. For the most part, they probably more likely was backup quarterbacks. Just like you see on TV, a lot of backup quarterbacks. And how many black backup quarterbacks you got in the league? That number's probably lower than you percentage-wise you got with starting quarterbacks. So as a black quarterback, you got Geno Smith, you got Huntley from Baltimore. For the most part, a lot of the backups are white, especially if they're not rookies. A lot of the backups are white. It's probably a higher amount of starting quarterbacks than backup quarterbacks. Pretty sure about that. So, if the backup quarterbacks and the marginal quarterbacks, the solid starters all become offensive coordinators, it's not a lot of pickings from hiring a black offensive coordinator. You got Byron Leftwich. I mean, I don't know every offensive coordinator, but yeah, he's a defensive guy. I mean, he's hired, black defensive coordinators like Ken Norton Jr. before, and you know what I'm saying. But like I said before, they always gonna point out that you being a hypocrite, but it's not a lot of offensive black fucking coordinators or quarterback coaches. You got running back coaches like Deuce Staley but it's it just seemed to be more black defensive guys. Talking about Steve Wilkes, Leslie Frazier, Mike Tomlin, had a defensive background. Raheem Morris, defensive background. I mean, Lovie Smith back in the league with Houston, defensive background. Where else we going? I mean, you do got Eric Bieniemy, Byron Leftwich, but you keep losing. Thinking about it, Kellen Moore from the Cowboys, often white coordinator. How many black? So it ain't it ain't a huge pickings. And then they talk about the nepotism by hiring his kids. That's what corporate America is about. They say, it's not too many, not with no black offensive coordinators during the 12. Well, how many black offensive coordinators could he hire? I can't hire you just because you black. You got to be qualified. And there ain't a lot of, black qualified offensive coordinators. It's just the way it is. Because they turn the quarterback coaches and quarterback coaches turn the offensive coordinators. That's how that go. So it ain't a ton of them. And then he's talking about the issue there with nepotism with him hiring his children. Well, that's the way corporate America is. It's a buddy system. Everybody knows it's not what you know, it's who you know most of the time. Everybody know that. That ain't new. That's all the system is, even on the working class level. When you go to GM, Chrysler, and Ford back in the day when they used to do employee referrals and stuff of that nature. Your boys say, come up to Foot Locker, I'm the manager. Put in the application, I'm going to plug you in. You know what I'm saying? Man, that's corporate America, buddy system. That's why you get a manager that, or you get a guy that become manager or get hired as manager, promoted, whatever it may be. And he don't know how to do none of the jobs, and he got to call you at home how to do a job. So, man, I ain't worried about no nepotism. That's what he supposed to do, put his kids in the position of power. Belichick do it. A lot of people do it. Andy Reid did it. So that ain't nothing new. But, hey, Pete Carroll delivering a powerful message. Like I said, he's Pete Carroll like 60 years old, 70 years old. Shit, he can say that. They about to rebuild in Seattle anyway. He could be on his way out. So Pete Carroll be 71 in September. They fired Pete Carroll. He got enough money to retire comfortably. So he can say that. He at the end of his wick with that. And maybe they should, encourage. Maybe that. Only way that all black offense coordinator thing gonna change if you get more black backup quarterbacks, and you put a program in for ex-players to learn how to be offensive. People think Deion Sanders is a defensive coach at Jackson State. He said he offense. He called a play. So maybe a program to get, to help prepare them become, better offensive coaches. But I will say it ain't that many damn black offensive coordinator, candidate, quarterback coach candidates out there. So that is what it is. Check out the NFL playlist. Thumbs up the video. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel. That subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit on notifications. Increase your chance to get notifications. Go live, drop a video. Check out the NFL playlist for more videos like this. I will do one mock draft as we come closer to the draft. April 30th. Want to financially want to support the channel? Cash App, $ CJ Good 313. Venmo CJ Good 313. PayPal link in the description. Rest of the donate, thumbs up, video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, comment, and subscribe button, it's bell icon button. Financially want to support the channel? Look at the link tree, link in the description, or Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, roll at the bottom of the screen. Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description, or in the link tree. Appreciate the love and support. Let me know in the comment section. Peace.